Hi, everybody. Hello, hello, hello. Hello. I hope you all had a wonderful holiday. I know you haven't seen me in a couple of weeks. That's because I've been having a bit of a holiday. I've been holidaying off a lot of stuff off of social media and just kind of off the web, enjoying time with my husband and my family during the holidays, which has been fantastic. It was a really good one. I hope you had a good one also. Um, I hope you're going to have a good new year as New Year's is coming up tomorrow. And I hope you're going into your year with a good positive outlook. And, hopefully things will be wonderful and bright for you. But I come with my blog every week. Well, at least for the last couple of weeks, as I've been doing the review for Love and Hip Hop. And not really a review, more than giving the lessons from the show. Boy, boy, boy. Whew. Well, luckily I did take the break off, and the show took a break off for like the last 2 or 3 weeks. I'm thinking, good thing, because I didn't know if I was gonna make it there. For a second with the last show, I thought I'm just not gonna make it. I'm just not gonna make it. Don't look strangely. It's a thing on my head. This is now going to be my new microphone. I usually have a microphone sitting here that you don't see, but this I have to use right now because my mother bought me something wonderful. Well, actually bought us something wonderful for Christmas, a Dragon Speak, which you speak and it types for you. And I'm so excited to have it. It's so wonderful, and it's really going to help me with my writing. If you don't know, I have other blogs away from here. One was Married Girl in a Weird World, which is now gone, but I also do a travel blog, and I also do just a regular writing blog where I do my fiction romance writing, sort of experimentation writing and stuff. And hopefully I'll be writing some other stuff you may not see on, my blog is called Sometimes I Write. On Sometimes I Write, I really have few books that have just been in me for a while, and I think it's now time for me to get that stuff out. It's boiling over. It needs to come on up and stuff. But and I'm really excited about having this to be able to do it with, because I suffer from carpal tunnel. And if you know anything about that, or a person who types a lot, you'll know about it. And from the years and years of typing, college and work and all that stuff, here within the last couple of years, I've started to suffer from carpal tunnel, which is really painful when you type a lot. So typing is not always something that I do or like to do, although I love to write. Typing can be hard for me, but I think with this, it'll make it a lot better. So, on from my sad story of my carpal tunnel and all this stuff, but my great, awesome story of now having Dragon Speak and having something type as I talk to it, which means I'm never going to shut up. Okay. And now on to tonight's Love and Hip Hop. See, I'm in here fast tonight. Usually I'm not in here so fast, but tonight I'm in here pretty fast to talk. And I just saw it and I was like, let me get this stuff fresh in my mind and stuff. And tonight's Love and Hip Hop, New York, was just a comeback from last week, the last couple of weeks, 2 or 3 weeks ago. Kind of the big blow up finally between uh, Tar and Peter, and a lot of stuff sort of changing, and people saying they were moving on with their lives and all this sort of stuff, which sounded really great, kind of in theory, as usual in theory, but in practice has so not happened. And this week we're coming back, and this week's segment of lessons are going to be called "You Don't Need Closure." I know for many of us as women, we're always like, I wish I had some closure. I wish I could have figured out what happened, and I wish you would have told me, or, I just wish I had some closure with that relationship or any relationships you have. A lot of people want closure. I'm just not talking about women. Some men want closure too. People always want closure and all that stuff. And at some point, I figured out, you know what? I don't really need closure. I don't need closure. There's no need to have closure. At some point, it's just best that I just walk away for my own sanity's sake and just let it go, and stuff. And I think many times we're looking for closure because we want to figure out, well, who's to blame for what happened don't really matter. When people have problems in a relationship, it's enough blame to go around. So who cares, okay, and stuff. Or who can I blame? Who can I be bitter and bitterness against and all this stuff? Or can I, if they tell me, can I say something that'll pull them back in and all this sort of stuff? It's really not us wanting to close stuff. It's wanting us to figure out how we can work this out or make this right or do something else. Which, if it was right, it'd be working. Duh and stuff. And as you know, relationships are a lot of work. Well, tonight's was just, the kind of same old, I guess you could say. Everybody's mad and upset. Uh, it opens with Amina in the park with her sister, talking about her hurt over Peter and what she thinks may be going on, and she doesn't really know. And the sister says something that I think is important to think about. The sister says either you're going to leave, or you're going to just leave, move on with your life, move on with your music, or you're going to stay and just take stuff how it is. And that's a good thing to remember. That is not the most woo woo sort of, oh, this is just, that's not, in a bad relationship, that is not rah rah. Okay, it's just not. I'm not saying that's rah rah. I'm not saying that's great. I'm not saying that's the way it should be. But if you're going to stay with someone, in Amina's case, like Peter, who is a narcissist and a person who is emotionally abusive and is selfish and self-absorbed and stuff, hates, and also hates himself, so really, hates you and stuff, you're going to have to deal with that just the way it is. Your love is not going to make that better. Amina's love is not going to make him change. It hasn't done anything for him. All this time, she's loved him, she's married him, she's lived in the house with the man, she's, believed every lie he's told, she's let him come and go in her life without boundaries, and still, she has nothing to show for all she's done. Well, that's the point of having boundaries, is that, you know, with the thing about having boundaries is, and I know most people, are like, oh, that seems so harsh and so cruel. But really, it just rids you of all the bad things that you don't want in your life, and stuff. If she had some boundaries, if she would have told Peter, Peter, either you're going to be here with me, stand with me, and we're going to be married and do whatever, or I'm going to divorce you. We're not going to be together at all. And then follow through with that means that one or two things happen. Either he straightens up, which in his case probably wouldn't have happened, or you get to go on with your life, and you get to get out and early, pretty much, and stuff. And so the sister's saying, well, either you're going to do that or you're not. And it's just kind of is this thing of hoping beyond hope that somehow our love is going to change people, or we're going to make somebody different, or all this stuff. I don't care if you're a man or a woman. What you get when you get that person is just kind of what you're going to get. And so if you just can't really take what you're about to get, I suggest you don't take it. You don't move on and you don't move forward. But of course, she thought that she was going to be something more magical than the woman he had been with 13 years and all this stuff. And, at least she got a ring out of him. And what she thought, at least she got marriage out of him and stuff. And she thought she was going to be really special. And has now come to find out that you're not really special. And I keep saying again and again, this man lived with her because this man needed a place. This man did this. He married her because he needed a place to live. I'm sorry. I believe that with all my heart, and stuff, that he just needed a spot to live because he thought maybe him and Tara were going to break up. Well, then we cut to, to Tahiri and Joe, who have run into each other, and he's, being really affectionate, and she's saying, oh, we're over, we're done. He's not really thinking that they're done, and we're done. And I love the constant use of sorry in this by men with, whatever foolery that they have, the constant use of sorry. And I always want to express again and again, if you watch this show, to take a good note on how empty I'm sorry is. It is, though, when people tell me I'm sorry, I just kind of look. I'm just I'm on the most of the time, on day-to-day basis, and stuff. And I mean, I'm just kind of like it's so meaningless. It's so meaningless. It's so meaningless without any action behind it. It's so meaningless. Now, many times I have to apologize, or my husband has to apologize for stuff that goes on in our marriage. But behind what we say is action. So, personally, if you start acting, you could, you know, that would prove to me you're actually sorry than just saying it. But, the constant sorries and the constant sort of sorry with the same behavior following the same stuff you just did before you said I'm sorry, you're doing again after, it's just sort of useless. And if you don't learn anything out of watching this whole show, is to make sure when people say they're sorry that they actually have some sort of action behind it, that they actually, that they actually do something after they say they're sorry. They actually make a change and, do the stuff that they say that they're going to do. But it's not this thing of them saying you're sorry and then they falling back into your arms and it's all. I don't even know where people. No, nah, no, no. Mm-mm. Not with some of that betrayal. No, no, Lord, no. It's just this, I'm sorry, and then we'll just fall back into each other's arms and be in love again. Okay, whatever, and stuff. It's TV, but in the real world, falling back into people's arms with that sort of serious betrayal is just, that's, yeah, no, no. So then we moved to Tara, talking to Kay Michelle about what's going to go on and how she's feeling, and the thing that happened between Kay Michelle and Yandy and Kay Michelle's friend Paris. I remember her name finally, and Amina and Peter and them seeing each other and all this stuff going down. And so, you know, Kay Michelle's pretty much thing was, well, you've been with him so long, you're going to either get together and figure this all out, and or you're not. Now, there we have this thing about closure. You're going to get together and figure this out. Listen, I don't have to figure out. There's no need. There's nothing for Tara to figure out. This man married another woman after being with you for 13 years and having two children with you. While he cheated on you a couple times during that time, he was cheating on you, cheating on her, doing all. We don't need to have a threesome. He don't, he's a liar because they were just saying, he's a liar. He couldn't tell the truth if it bit him. He wouldn't know the truth if it bit him and stuff. So he's a liar. So it's like, well, what am I sitting down with three people so I can hash out? Of course, she thinks it's a wonderful idea. I've been doing all this, and I've been, if he really wanted to be with me, he'd divorce her. That would be good enough for me. I wouldn't even have to have no meeting after I told myself that. Listen. Yes, if he really wanted to be with you, he'd make some action to be with you. But he doesn't. He keeps asking her questions and trying to get her to do something. Listen, I don't have to tell grown people what to do. Either you want to be with me or you don't have to tell you what to do. If you want to divorce the woman, you divorce. You don't ask me to give you permission to divorce the woman. What is that about? And stuff. But the thing is, he really doesn't want to give up anything. He doesn't want to give up Tara. He doesn't want to give up Mina. He doesn't want to give up his cake and all the eatings and fixings and, and ice cream on top with sprinkles and, whipped cream and all that stuff. He doesn't want to give any of it up. He wants to keep it all. That's why he keeps lying to everybody. That's why he keeps going around in circles, lying. Because nobody's going to leave a narcissist. Narcissists are going to make sure of that. Nobody's going to leave a narcissist. Okay? Until you figure out they are narcissists and that they don't love themselves, that they'll never love you, and you have to pull yourself out of their web of lies and deceit and manipulation and power grabs. You will be under their spell forever. They will break up with you. They will get back with you. They will break up with you. They will get back with you when they find you useful. To narcissists, you're useful. These two women are useful to Peter. They make him feel like the man that he actually isn't. They make him feel worthy. They're giving him all this sex. They're fighting one another. And all this chaos is going on that really he could solve and absolve really quickly. He won't, because it's feeding is narcissism. It's making him feel good about himself. It's boosting his false sense of self. So Tara decides this is a good idea, and she meets these three. They meet together by accident, and then Amina's going, well, I wasn't gonna be you, and you knew that you'd lost him. Tara's talking about, yeah, well, we went through this before. We did this before in our relationship. That he had cheated on her before, and then she took him back a couple of times. From what I can gather, kind of, figure out a couple of times. And so Amina's, of course, very proud that she has him, and that he wouldn't do that to me. Listen, past behavior really predicts future behavior. I don't really know where people don't really get that. It would be nice to think that a lot of times that people would be different, but unless somebody has had a come to Jesus moment, as I call them, some really striking thing that has just changed their whole being, which you could tell if somebody's whole being has changed, they're going to do what they did in the past because it worked in the past, so why not keep doing it? So Amina's thinking that, yes, you lost him a long time ago, and I'm just not gonna, he's not gonna do that to me. And of course, Dara says, yeah, right. What bothered me so much about this scenario is he's sitting there, of course, lying, saying, I just feel so bad, and, this shouldn't happen like this, and I shouldn't lie to you two, and blah, blah, this, and blah, and you two shouldn't be fighting with each other. Here's how he seems to always pretend like he has no control over the situation, as if the situation is happening to him instead of him being able to control what's happening. This sort of sense of, well, I really have no power here. It's just sort of happening, and he's upset, and Amina's now crying and screeching about him, you know, him and what he's done to her, and of course Tara's sitting over there like the cat that ate the canary, and I'm thinking, you two are idiots. You two are the most idiotic women I've ever seen in my life. Here is why. Why are two women all proud because they're dissing each other over a man, not even a man, a child who's pretending to be a man? Why would I be proud because he cheated on me and now he's cheating on you and all this stuff? And we've both been fooled. Really, we've both been fooled. We've both been duped, okay? And stuff. He's been lying to both of us. So why would I hold any pride? But see, that's the mistake women make. We're always mad at the woman. I don't know why we do that. That's so stupid. It's so dumb. You know, Even if the woman knew, why would you be mad at her? He's the one that owes you the fidelity. He's the one that owes you for the years he, not her. I just, why would I be trying to get her back? What I don't really understand. He's just, I mean, he is in, why he acts like he has no control? Because really he is in the lap of luxury of all men's dreams. He is going from woman to woman to woman, back and forth, and they are fighting and loving him and telling him how wonderful it is and how they want him to do this, and he's getting sex everywhere he can handle it. His dick ought to be shriveled up by now. He's getting so much sex. I mean, he is in the best of all worlds. Yeah, they may fuss a little bit, but you still getting some because they're steady trying to prove how much they love you and how much loyalty they have to you and stuff. All right. You don't need closure. Everybody's on here this week trying to get some damn closure. You don't need closure. He's talking about, I wish I could do something about this and all this stuff. But he can. He can walk away from both these women and let them get on with their lives and stop breaking their hearts and using them. But he's not, because narcissists aren't going to let you go. They don't work like that. So while these two ninnies are fighting over him, who's worth nothing, he's enjoying having his false sense of self boosted. Listen, narcissists don't care. They don't care if you're hating them. They don't care if you're loving them. They could care less. They don't care if either one. All they want is the attention. All they want is all the attention on him. So now he's running and he's going. He's trying to apologize. And of course, Tara's like, okay, I'm done. I'm through, and all this stuff. But she had just slept with the man a week ago. And so she's out with Andy and K Michelle talking about how she's done and she's through. But K Michelle, actually, I kind of really like her. Said something profound. How are you getting over? How are you supposed to be getting away or getting over a man, and you're on top of the man? Listen, after 13 years in a relationship, and you've been with somebody, and the love that you have for them, even though a lot of times they may be jerky jerks, will not be gone until you get away from them. I know. I was with my ex-husband a long, long time. And I knew when I finally put him out that I couldn't let him come back. I couldn't let him come back around. We couldn't be friends. It wasn't going to work. We had a long-term relationship in marriage. We had a bond. That bond was deep. And although he was a narcissist, I loved him very much. By the time I put him out, to be able to move on, to mourn that relationship, because all relationships take mourning, to mourn that relationship and move on, I couldn't see him. How am I going to mourn him and I'm still talking to him and he's still drawing me in? And, the thing is to do the pattern, because of course they keep saying, Tara says that you have a pattern, and I'm keep like, he has a pattern. So why do you fall for the pattern? But the thing is, this person knows you. You know this person. They know you. And they know how to keep you sucked into whatever drama they got going on, and stuff. Somebody who's a good person can keep you because they know you. Even a bad person, they can keep you because they know you. But the thing is to move on, to move away, to get over. You cannot be seeking closure or revenge or trying to get back at somebody or whatever. Her best bet probably wasn't to go out to try to figure out how to date somebody else. Her best bet was to take some time and to figure out why you'd stay in a relationship 13 years with somebody that had cheated on you a couple of times. That's probably the best. It's probably time for some introspection, but who am I? At this point, she's supposedly over. But of course, the other two women are like, yeah, whatever. And also her sort of need to somehow get back at Amina, which keeps her sucked into him and keeps her attached to him while he's using her, is really something she's using against herself. Her need to get back at Amina is actually not really hurting Amina as much as it's hurting her. It's not hurting Peter at all. He's got everything. He's got the best of all worlds, please, and stuff. And this sort of need to want to close something up or to get explanations or to figure out what's going on. So at the end, we see Peter trying to figure out how he's going to get Amina back, and she's saying, "Well, I want to do this and I want to do that and all this stuff." This is how you do this when you break up with people. You move on. You don't see them. They don't see you. New York's a big city. There is no reason I should see you. You move on. You move on with your life. You just move on. You move on with who you are. You move on with what you're going to do. You leave that behind. I'm telling you, when I moved away, moved on with my life, again, it's got those divorce papers. We didn't see each other except the signed papers. Because the two times I saw him, I thought, yeah, I can't see you no more. Once it was for, I think it was for dinner, and then it was something else. But he would try to come back around, hang out with my family and stuff, which really I finally had to tell my family, listen, either y'all gonna be my family or y'all gonna be his family, one or the other. I mean, it wasn't like he really liked it, my family, so it wasn't like no big deal. And then once I sort of was honest about what had been going on, everybody was like, "Oh, okay." Yeah, I was like, "See, yeah, y'all either gonna be his family or my family." But he would come around even after we divorced and I met my now husband, and he was still coming around trying to drag me back in because remember what I say: narcissists aren't going to let you go. They're not. They're not gonna let you go voluntarily. And I had to stop giving in to the little things that he would do that would try to drag me back or get me mad and upset and emotionally entangled in him again. Once I sort of cut that off, the little fishing thing he would do, it was, he would say stuff that would make me mad. But then he would say he would sometimes he was on the Facebook. He was on the Facebook once, and I had cut him off. I'd actually cut him off. We weren't friends. I hadn't banned him, but we weren't friends on Facebook. But people I knew him, and then he would put messages sort of on a roundabout through me. And the thing is, I was like, oh, okay, well then now I have to ban you. And I mean cut off. When I say cut off, I mean cut off. Now I haven't seen him in years. It's been years now, which is just fine with me, and stuff. It's much easier for me to talk about him and stuff because I've moved on with my life. But in those first very vulnerable, maybe months of breaking up with somebody, you cannot be on this back and forth seeing everybody every day, coming over to the house, you sit and you talking and all this stuff. Next thing you know, you end up in bed with somebody or something like that. No, thank you, Jesus. That never happened between us. But hey, it does for many people because people are looking for closure, but they're not really looking for closure. Stop lying to yourself. You don't need closure. What you're really looking for is some way to keep this relationship going, some way to patch it up, some way to make it right, some way to figure out how you can fix it, some way to prove yourself loyal, some way to let this person know you still love them and you're so needy, needy, needy that you do anything to have them. You don't need closure. Stop with that crap. If one other person says something about needing closure, really, you don't need closure. Closure for Tara and Amina happened when Tara found out that a man she had been with 13 years and had 2 kids with was married to some other woman while he was sleeping with her and still with her. Closure for Amina happened when she figured out that the man that she had married and was living up in her house had still been sleeping with the mother of his children. That's closure. Because listen, if you're looking for closure or trying to get him to explain or what he did or why he did it, trust and believe, girls, all you finna get is lies. That's it. A bunch of lies. Or either blame, neither one of which you need. I don't want to understand why somebody would cheat on me. I don't really care. There is no understanding. There are no words that you could tell me that would make it somehow seem okay or logical for you to cheat on me. I don't care what you did. And Peter's still in the same thing of talking about, oh, well, you just like Tara now. So all he cares about, as long as you don't fuss at him, then he'll stay. He'll be there. He's such a narcissist. God, it's just, it's gross to watch because he's such a narcissist and so manipulative and so busy gaslighting people all over the place and stuff. There is none. There's no excuse for betrayal. There's no excuse for abusing people or being emotionally manipulative. Or emotional abuse. There's no excuse for that. I don't care what happened to you. I don't care. I don't care how rough it was on the streets. I could care less. I could care less. That's not your problem. Your problem is to get on with your best life while you're wasting time with Dumpy Chumpy over here, who's stringing you along and tossing you around like a lasso rope here and there and everywhere. And you're missing out on having a good life either by yourself or with somebody else. Anything would be better than that chump. Stop looking for closure. It's not going to happen. I don't even worry about closure. I don't worry about closure. Once it's done, once we're done, we're done. Bye. See ya. I don't need to figure out what happened. I maybe need to figure out what happened with me to let some, let certain people into my life that probably shouldn't have been there. That's what you probably need to figure out. That's what you need. Some introspection time. Closure, you don't need. Introspection, you do. But closure, oh no. You can leave that alone and just go on with your life. So, something's going to happen next week, and we'll see what happens. And of course, it looks like all hell's about to break loose as usual on this show. And we'll see what happens and what the ladies do and what decisions that they make, which will probably be bad. But hey, here I'm giving you some tips, so you don't have to make those kinds of decisions, and you can know better to do better. That ought to be a year's focus for some folks. My year's focus is giving. That's my year's focus is giving, 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 being more giving. That is my year's focus and stuff. I hope you have something for the year that really brings meaning for you. I hope you have a wonderful, blessed new year. I hope it finds you well, and I hope it finds you at least, hey, giving something to yourself, giving yourself a better life, a better opportunity, better chance, better whatever, doing what it is that you want to do with your life, or at least making steps toward it. And I want to wish you a very happy new year as we go into 2014. Boy, 2014, and whatever you're doing, I hope you do your best. I wish all those things for you that you wish for yourself. Okay, I will see you later. Bye bye.